Most men don't fail after divorce, they stall. Um, the truth is, time doesn't heal. Time reveals what you refuse to lead. So, this is January. If time healed men, January would be full of transformed lives. And so, look, this episode isn't about emotion. It's about trajectory. It's about launch. It's about go. It's about this is the year, the big fix. So if this show challenges you instead of coddling you, subscribe, just leave a review, help another dad. Literally, you click the button and it sends it out to dads just like you. This isn't noise, it's leadership. And so I want to dig into the neuroscience right from the go. Your brain defaults to status quo when no goal is present. And we've been talking about goals. We've been talking about setting this up. We've been talking about this trajectory that you're on. And so uncertainty increases cortisol. But here's what cortisol does. This is the issue with it, is that it reduces decision speed. Cortisol reduces risk tolerance. Cortisol reduces future thinking. So those of you that are newly divorced, in a divorce, even if you're a year out or 2 years out, and you've had this overload of cortisol, it's literally shrinking your brain to make fast decisions. And those fast decisions usually sound like, well, what if you get this wrong? Right? There's always this, now that there's been some failure, in your life, now you're looking everything through the lens of failure. I had a client of mine that we talked exactly about this, that he was, he still is a very prominent business figure. He's done incredible things in his timeline of career and in business and the work that he does. Awesome. Legend. Like, you look at it, be like, dang, that guy's good. But when I sat and we sit together, he doubts. He has fear. He doesn't want to fail again, doesn't want to blow it, doesn't want to be broke, doesn't want to, have nothing. And so he's only looking at what he doesn't have. And he's so scared to make a decision. And the cortisol is freaking out his brain, clouding everything. And so his decision speed is like a turtle. His risk tolerance is non-existent. It's like he just wants to sit on the couch all day and not do anything because he doesn't want to break anything. He doesn't want to blow anything up. He doesn't want to mess up. And then it also reduces his future thinking. What can you do in the next? What can happen? What's the dream? What's the vision? And you can't get out there because you can't see that far ahead. You're stuck. So a man without direction feels anxious, avoids action, mistakes avoidance for rest. Hey, just slow down, take it easy. You've had a hard time. You've had a rough time. No, that's cortisol. That's shocking your brain into just becoming someone that just sits around and doesn't do much, or doesn't take risk, or doesn't think about their future, doesn't think about what they're going to plan for their children, or doesn't show up actively with their kids. And so your exhaustion isn't from doing too much. It's from carrying indecision. Your brain has a finite amount of energy. And I would encourage you all to go through the energy audit in the Skool group, in the Skool community that we have, and literally do an energy audit. Where is your energy going? Because if you don't know, if you're not aware to it, then you can't fix it. And you can't will your way through it. You can't just stack more and do more. I've some guys that they'll come and be like, man, I'm able to do about 2 hours of work in the day and I just want to get back into bed. Why? Cortisol overload. They're just way down. So much pressure, so much indecision, all of these things. And they can't see what's next. And then they'll say, once I feel better, I'll decide. And this is a core belief error. Once I feel better, I'll decide. Once this starts to fall in line, I'll jump on and I'll start, working with you, or I'll get that person on the team. Or, so many guys are waiting for this perfect scenario in their life when all of the great decisions they made was actually, they were never in the perfect decision. So you got to know that action precedes clarity. Clarity does not precede action. Clarity does not precede action. And the problem with that is you'll become so fearful about doing the wrong thing that you won't do anything, or you'll do that thing and it doesn't go right and you're like, see, I told you so. Well, it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. Scripture tells us to ask, seek, and knock. It's constantly looking to move us forward, to press on to the high things, the higher calling that God has for you in your life, which is there. You wouldn't be here. You wouldn't be listening to this if you didn't want more for your life, if you didn't want to grow, if you didn't want your children to have not just the best version of you, but the best leader that you can be so that you can then download that into them, right? You don't want your overflow to be trash, anxiety, worry, fear, failure, defeat, guilt, shame. You want the overflow to be love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, discipline, long suffering, gentleness. That's what we're going for. So direction creates the emotional stability, not the other way around. You're not waiting on healing. Healing is waiting on your leadership. In Proverbs 29, you've heard me say this scripture a few times. It's where there's no vision, people cast off restraint. They lack discipline. So vision is not a dream. Vision is not a dream. I have a dream for this and that's great. That's a picture, but it's not. Vision is defined direction. You got to know that. Vision is defined direction. We need steps, roadmaps, strategies to get you there. God never tells men to wait until it feels right. Never. Never wait till it feels right. Jesus didn't even do his first miracle. He didn't feel right. He said, I don't know if it's my time. And then turns water into wine. Peter walks on water. Do you think it was the perfect time for him to go walk on water when it was the stormiest day ever? Like a hurricane? No, he walked on water. Moses could barely talk, stuttering issues and fearful and worried. God didn't say, oh, wait till you feel better. He gives assignments, not emotions. So you have an assignment in there. You've got something you want to do. You want to be a better leader. You want to be more generous. You want to provide for your kids. You want to have a great business. You have these assignments in you, these callings. And so I'm going to go through the fast system of what this could look like, what this could sound like inside of your situation. F is focus and faith. One direction beats 10 intentions. One direction, 10 intentions. You got to remember that you can't have two visions. That's called division. So you got to ensure that your direction is singular, or it will cause more confusion. The A in the FAST system is accountability and awareness. Direction without witnesses collapses. And so the accountability is, again, the gateway drug to freedom. It's the guardrails. It's what's pulling you toward the vision. And builders are observed. So you want to have the accountability and you want to have the awareness. Because as you're building, you are being observed. You're being watched. You're writing the story. You are the hero. Whether it's friends around you, your children, whoever, you are being seen. And therefore, you want to have accountability people in your life to get you there. As to strategy and systems. Strategy is choosing what you'll say no to. You know, when they asked Leonardo da Vinci, when he chiseled out the statue of David, which is pretty amazing if you haven't seen it, they asked him, how'd you do it? And he said, I took away everything that wasn't supposed to be there. What if in your life we took away everything that wasn't supposed to be there? The negative thoughts, the negative relationships, right? The negative habits, the addictions, the negative words coming out of your mouth. Maybe the negative decisions you make with your money. What if you just took those out? What if that was the strategy for this year in 2026? T is transformation. Identity follows movement. What does transformation look like in your life? Stagnation preserves the old man. The longer you sit in there, the murkier the waters get. And so I wonder what this could look like. We'll call it a 90-day direction filter. So think about this 90 days, and if you need to break it down to 30 days, just do 30 days. Like let's 7 days, shoot, just let's get something going. And I want you to ask yourself this question before any decision. Any decision. Does this move me toward the man I want my kids to remember? Or does it keep me comfortable? That is the question. Do that for 90 days. The decisions you're making. Is this making me the man I'm becoming? The man I want to be? Or is it making me more comfortable? Comfort is the killer. If you are comfortable, that's the sign. Do something else. Do something else. The brain organizes behavior around future identity. And kids activate long-term motivation faster than self-interest. This is why it's so important for you. You got to remember, here's a good picture for you as well. A parked car can't be steered. The other day I had to pull over and get my Tesla charged. And I pull in, I put in the charger, sat there and watched some YouTube videos. Just sat there. Parked car. I couldn't go left, couldn't go right, couldn't go forward, couldn't go back. I was just there. Which leads me to this. You don't need confidence, you need motion. I can't get to my next destination until I start moving in that direction. I can't just steer the wheel. It's not going anywhere. You need the action. So these next 90 days or 60 days or 30 days, if that's what it is, then be that man. Put the decision making through that filter. What would you do differently because of it? Let me give you 3 questions before you go today. Where am I using time as an excuse? Oh, I need more time. I don't have enough time. Well, get up earlier. Cut out TV. Cut out your phone. What's your screen time? Right? Where is time leaking out of your day? Where am I using time as an excuse? That's so important to know. It's so important to be honest with yourself. It's so important for you to have the calendar to know and your time where it's going. 2, what decision have I delayed that's draining my energy? Those times when you don't make that call, you don't make that decision, you don't call that person, it weighs and it weighs and it weighs and it gets heavier and heavier. And it delays you. It drains you, drains your energy, drains your mind, drains your progress. What decision are you delaying? Is it somebody that you need to bring on? Maybe you need help. Maybe you actually need to bring somebody on. Maybe some of you out there are like, hey, I actually need a coach, but I'm delaying it because I'm scared of how much it'll cost. Let's just be honest. That's the reality of it. However, you getting those things that you want to get, you grabbing that vision, time with your kids, the cash flow, the peace and the freedom. What is that worth to you? Those are the things you have to decide. Number 3, if my kids watch this season on replay, what would they learn about leadership? You're constantly on. You're the show. You're the star. And so this year in 2026, as you build this thing out, as you're building out this momentum and this movement and where you're going, I want you to ask hard questions. The hardest questions you ever asked before. And the things you fear the most. I think a lot of you are, you're in this state of money and not having what you had. Right. You don't have what you have anymore. I get that. But I tell you what, when I was in that state, I had to take what I had to get me to a place that I'd never gone before. If it's a mentor, if it's a coach, if it's a course, if it's doing the worksheets, if it's actually watching the videos and doing them, if it's turning the TV off, if it's stop drinking or stop doing weed or stop with porn, whatever it might be, do the hard thing. Do the thing that it's going to bring you to the man you're becoming. That's my challenge for you here. That's what I want to leave you with this week. Again, if you're not in our Skool community, get in it. If you're not following us on Divorced Dads of America on Instagram, follow us. If you can do one thing for another dad, subscribe and share this podcast, leave a review. Why? It helps another dad like you get one step closer to transformation, to rebuilding their life and the next generation. That's what we're all about here at Divorced Dads of America and the Rebuild. I love you, dudes. If you have any questions, hit me on Instagram or here in the Skool group. I'll see you in the next one. God bless you.